Hiya, and welcome back to another Reading Wednesday. It's your girl, sketchbook and bookbooks, I guess, but my name is Logan. And on this Reading Wednesday, I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite books that I've read in 2021, like legit, and it came out of nowhere. Like I did not expect it. I picked this book up just because like I was a little interested, and it delivered. It delivered. And so this is going to be a very happy video. This is going to be a very just like, you know, because I vibe with this book, y'all. I vibe with this book. And the book is called Some Other Now by Sarah Everett, okay? And it is just, it's delicious. It's delicious. It gives everything that you need, okay? So as usual, I'm going to be doing, you know, a time lapse or whatever. Probably going to start after my little synopsis of the book. So let me just tell you a little bit about what it's about, okay? So you got a black girl. She's biracial, half white, half black, but she identifies as black, and they kind of, I don't think she's like very light-skinned. I'm not really sure. But she identifies as black. And anyway, so she lives next door to these two boys, well, this family called the Cohens, named the Cohens. And it's like you got Luke and you have Rowan, okay, and the main character's girl is Jessie Roomfield, okay, and her mom is kind of really depressed, and so she's like almost absentee, okay, and she's like, her dad works and stuff, so she doesn't have the best home life herself, but she finds her family in the Cohens, okay, and their mom, Mel, alright, and everything is going great. Like she's best friends with Rowan and kind of has like a little crush on Luke, you know, but it's just like the girl next door, and it's so freaking cute, okay, but anyway, like it's the story is split between then and now, and it's like the last summer when everything was fine and normal and she was still best friends and everything was, you know, just happy dandy, or happy dandy, is that how it goes? I don't know, I have no idea, but everything was good. It was like, you know, what she expected, nothing new. And then the summer after that where everything changed and you just kind of have to figure out what happened, and she like alludes to it. There's a lot of suspense because you're like, what, oh my god, what happened? But yeah, this is also like, it's not just a romance, it's like, it's kind of a drama with a romantic element. I've seen that a lot in a lot of reviews and stuff. Now for me, I was like, that's fine, I don't know. Yeah, but it was like a drama with a romantic element in it. And because Mel gets cancer, they don't really specify what kind of cancer, but she gets cancer and then they have to deal with that. And then something else also happens in the book that just, between that one summer of then and now, that kind of changes everything for the worst, okay? And that's where they are. Yeah, so it was a really great book. I loved it. I sped through it. And now I'm going to break it down. I'm going to give you all the pros, I'm going to give you all the cons, and I'm going to start that time lapse with an illustration that I'm super, you know, kind of proud of. I really like the idea of it, at least. So, yeah, let's get it good and poppin'. Here we go. All right, starting with the pros. The pros, of course. The drama was served piping hot, fresh out the kettle, okay? The kettle just whistled and it just poured straight into your cup. The steam, it's rising, you know, and it's just, it smells so good. And then you take a sip and it scalds your tongue, you know, but it's like, you love it. You love it though. And you can still get the taste. That's exactly what it was for me. I know I went way deep into that analogy, way deep, but that's exactly how it was, because this book was just juicy. Juicy couture, baby. I'm talking early 2000, everybody in those juicy chap suits. That's what it was. That's what this book is. It delivered, okay, because the love triangle, there was like a kind of a love triangle, and between her, this black girl, and these two brothers who I think are Filipino. She mentions it briefly once, like legit once. I'm not sure, but I feel like they're not white either. And I'm like, that's cool. I love an interracial romance where it's like it's between two people of color. I'm like, you know, because I remember sometimes it's like people seem to forget, but that can also be a thing. But anyway, yeah, with the black girl at the center, a love triangle with the black girl at the center. I'm like, sign me up. First, middle, and last name, sign me up, because I was ready, okay? Because first of all, like, when I read YA, I used to despise love triangles. I was like, this is so stupid. I hate this, you know? And maybe that's because I was never the center, and I'm like, I never got to really live the fantasy, you know? But this gave me everything I didn't know I wanted. I really didn't know I was missing out on like a love triangle. I don't think I am really, but this one really hit me. I was like, dang, though this is kind of a fantasy. I see two cute brothers fighting over you. Come on now. It's a lot of drama, honestly. I would not be for it. But, you know, in my head, spectacular. So that's just, the drama was so good. Like, I did not put this book down. and I would have read it in like 2 days if I didn't have a job that I had to wake up for early in the morning like the next day, if I didn't have responsibilities and wasn't like an adult, you know, with some like common sense. Well, I'm not common sense, but like willpower, really, willpower. Because I would have finished this, I would have gobbled this book up, you know? But anyway, the drama first pro was just good. It was so good. Like both sections of the book, it's like now and then, right? Both of them were so good, and I really liked. Okay, this is kind of going into the next pro. So the next pro is storytelling and structure. And so, like I said, it's between now and then. And I really loved how Miss Sarah Everett was like, you know, she snatched you by your edges and did not let go. She really did not let go. Okay? Like, if you were fighting this author, like she mollywopped you, bro. Like she really beats you. She beats you. And like she owned us, and it's okay. I was okay with it. I'm happy with it actually. But she would not let me breathe, because as soon as you ended like one chapter from the end, or like from then, you know, it would be like you wanted to keep reading and figure out what was happening then, you know, and then she would go to the now and it would be just as interesting, and it would end the same way where you're like really into the now, you know, something just happened and you're like, oh my god, let me get back to that. But then she would go back to the then and you're like, oh my gosh, yeah, I was so into this too. You could not breathe. You could not breathe. It was nonstop. It was nonstop, and I appreciated it so much. I really liked the storytelling and structure of this, because like when you think about it as a whole, like once you're done with the book and like you're in the retrospection, you're like, you know, that story wasn't really that unique, wasn't really anything new other than the diversity in it, honestly. That's like the only new thing, and that makes all the difference in my opinion. Because it's for a whole entire like new audience in a way, you know, so I mean that makes all the difference. But like from a story aspect and like themes and everything, nothing was really new, nothing you haven't seen before. But Miss Sarah Everett told it in the like most interesting way possible, the most engaging way possible. I was like, yeah, it was just, she did that. She got every ounce of potential out of that story that she could, and I loved it. I loved it. Okay, you already know this was a 5-star for me. Okay, you already know it. But anyway, yeah. So the story structure was just really, really good, and it kept up the tension, and it helped expertly drag out the suspense of what the heck happened last summer. You're like, what went down, girl? Give me the deets. Jessie, what is going on? But Jessie is like so flawed, and it's like I love too, because you get to see Jessie in these two lights. Like she's Jessie number one, who's like in the then, okay, before, when everything was cool. She was confident, she was sure of herself, she knew her place in the Cohen's life, you know, and it was like, you know, she was on solid ground. And then the Jessie you're meeting now, like who's, you know, currently going through this, was flawed. She has some self-loathing, she has regret, she's unsure of a lot of things, you know, and it's like she was really uprooted from something, and you just have to figure out what uprooted her, you know, and that was good. I liked the contrast. It was like a little mystery. It was like the suspense. It was so freaking good. I loved it. Oh my gosh. Okay, but anyway, yeah, so I just really liked the structure of the story. I think it was perfect for the book and how she wanted, and I don't know, the feelings she wanted to invoke in her reader. I think it was perfect. Anyway, next pro, the characters and the found family trope. Now, I think I do really like the found family trope. It's so sweet. It's really cute. I think of like, when I say found family trope, I think of like Guardians of the Galaxy. Not really the Avengers, because let's be honest, that was a dysfunctional family. Booby. I'm sorry. I called you a boob. You know, that's unfortunate. Anyway, slip of the tongue there. But yeah, the Avengers was definitely a dysfunctional family, so I don't think of them. But the found family trope and the characters were so good in this, and I think the found family trope only works if all the characters are like likable in their own way, right? And they all have something to offer the group. And that was sound here. I felt like, you know, this was really strong in this book, okay, because I really loved everybody pretty much. I loved Jessie, even when she was getting on my nerves with her self-loathing a little bit, and I was like, girl, what is going on? Like, why are we punishing ourselves? What's happening? I liked Luke and his seriousness. He was serious and really thoughtful. You know, he was written by a woman, because you're just like, ain't no boy this thoughtful and he's college age. Ain't no boy this like I mean, I know they out there, but they rare, you know? Anyway, but yeah, Luke, I loved Mel. She was super nice. She always treated Jessie like, you know, it was her own daughter, like she was part of the family. None of them treated her like a neighbor who just always, you know, bumming meals off them. Not like she was just welcome. She was welcome in their house, and you felt that love, and Miss Sarah Everett did a great job showing that to you. Not telling you, showing you, just through the scenes, like, oh yeah, she's at dinner. They tell her, you know, like when big news is about to drop, she's there. She's comforting them. She's like as much a part of this family as they are, even though she's not blood, you know? And it was, you felt that. You felt that. You didn't like think, oh, you know, she's kind of intruding. And that was, I think that's really great. It was wonderful. There was only one character I didn't vibe with, and that's a con that we'll get to really later, you know? But yeah, there's only one character I didn't really like, but everyone was really great. Rowan, Luke, Mel, Jessie, those are kind of the principal characters in my book. Like her mom and dad, Jessie's mom and dad, like they're in there, and you know, they do have their time to shine. I'm not saying that, but like, you know, they weren't like, I didn't think they were that important. Anyway, and so my next pro is the handling of illness, the handling of the illness in the book. So Mel gets cancer, but I don't think they ever tell you. I don't think Miss Sarah ever tells you what cancer it is, and that's because it's not that important. That's like all she tells you is that she gonna die. She gonna die, y'all. You know, like that's legit all we know. And it's like, it kind of felt like that's all you needed to know. You didn't need to know why, you don't need to know how or anything. Well, you did know how because it's cancer, but like not specifics, you know? And they called it the big bad. And I really thought that like it was portrayed realistically, even though I've never had anyone in my family suffer from like a serious debilitating illness. And I've never had anyone die from an illness either that was close to me, so I really don't know. But there was humor in it, like it was Mel trying to, you know, make it lighter than it is, and like make jokes at her own expense about her leaving and them not being ready for that, and then just being like, you know, please don't say that, don't, like, you're not going anywhere. This blind denial, because you have to. If you don't have that denial, then you're not going to go on, you know? It's just, I understood that, and I thought it was conveyed really, really well. I really appreciated it, and she didn't make the mistake of, like, romanticizing the illness at all, which is, unfortunately, something that happens a lot in the YA genre ever since John Green graced the world with The Fault in Our Stars or whatever. Ever since then, it's kind of like, I find authors, you know, kind of, I don't know if it's accidentally or not, like, but romanticizing illness or romanticizing negative traits or some things that are actually bad things. But that wasn't seen here. You know, you never found yourself being like, oh, I wish, oh, this cancer seems like it has brought them closer together or something. Like, no. You're like, this sucks. This is awful. And that's what it is. It's awful. But yeah, so I really liked her handling of the illness. I thought it was very mature, and I thought it was very realistic for the book, and I thought she covered it really, really well. Even though it wasn't like the main focus, but I think she shined the light that it had shine on it did it justice to me. But like I said, I have no real experience in that, so, you know. Yeah, I don't know if it really means anything then, but that's how I felt, at least. And then my next pro is the chemistry. The chemistry, come on, okay? The chemistry, come on. It was good. I know you got an A++ in chemistry, Miss Sarah Everett, because it was delicious, okay? Between Luke and Jessie, I had no choice but to root for them, baby. I kind of feel like I was kidnapped and thrown onto their ship, you know? And they were just, it was going. I was like, okay, so what y'all gonna name your kids? What house you gonna live in? Is it the suburbs, the city? Let me know. Because y'all are gonna stay together forever. Fictional or not, I don't care. There is no divorces. Like, legit, I felt like, I was like, I really had no choice but to ship them. Their like conversations were so cute. Oh my gosh, their first like date was at a froyo place. It was really cute. I kind of want to spoil it so bad, but I don't. At the same time, I'm like, just read it and have all the feels, because they were so sweet. And I just loved, like, Luke was crushing on her like all this time, but he didn't want to like make things weird and stuff. And he was like, I can't date you, you know, even though he's like, I think about you all the time. And I was like, oh my God. gosh, it's so freaking cute. And then he goes to college and he like drives back every weekend to see her and Mel, of course, because Mel's going through this, you know, cancer and fighting cancer and stuff, and he has to spend all this time with her, as much time as possible, he thinks. And he was just such a sweet boy. He was such a sweet boy, and she was so nice to, like, you know, you love Jessie. Jessie was really strong, but not too, like, she wasn't angry or anything. She wasn't a stereotype of a black girl, that's for sure, and I really like that as well. But yeah, they were really real characters, and you just wanted them to be together really bad. I did, at least, okay? And if you read it, I'm just like, how could you not root for them a little bit in the now? I mean, not the now. No, it is the now, I'm sorry. It's so confusing, I'm sorry. I think I'm making it more confusing than it needs to be, but in the now chapter, like after everything has happened, it is a little rocky. It is a little rocky between them, but the chemistry is still there. So you can tell that they're like fighting it. They're like fighting each other in this like attraction and affection they had for each other, and I just really loved that. Still, I was just like, I'm still rooting for you guys. Stop playing me. Stop playing me. I know it's gonna be. I know it's gonna happen. Okay, so it was just really, it was so good. I was dying. I was really dying. I loved it so much. Like, I had to put the book down and just like, you know, just sit in silence for a little bit. Like, that was so sweet. That was so cute. Oh, had me rereading passages and things. It was so good. Okay, anyway, and then my last pro is the ending. I love the ending, which is kind of weird for me because I don't like ambiguous endings. I'm never the one for an ambiguous ending because of how I feel about it. It's like, you have told me the story up until this point. You created this whole world and all these characters, but you can't close the deal? You can't seal the deal? Yeah, so I'm just like, tell me how it ends. Wrap it up in a pretty bow for me, baby. Tell me how it ends. Tell me how it ends. But she gave us just enough though, where you kind of, you can figure out what happens, I think, at least, okay? So kind of, and I cried. I was legit crying. Not me about to leave that out, but I cried. I was like, did I bawl a little bit? Got the little, you know? My lungs were a little shaky. It was not embarrassing, but I was just like, wow. Because it was so freaking sweet to me. The ending was so sweet because it kind of alluded to Luke and Jessie kind of rekindling things between them. And it just spoke to me about like how like their love, sometimes that love is like too strong and no matter where you go, you just cannot run it. That's kind of the message I got from that. And it's just, it's the idea like of these two characters just coming back to each other again and again and again, like all roads leads to you. I'm just like, that is so, it was too sweet for my heart to handle. My heart was like, we can't handle this. Like, cue the tears. Okay, they rolling because this is too much. It was just really, really sweet. It was really sweet. I loved it. I loved it so much. Anyway, but yeah, it was precious. Precious is the word. It was a precious ending to me, and I will buy that book. I have yet to buy it, but I will because I love it so much, and I will have it on my own, and I probably will read it again. I know I will. And I don't reread books, but a discovery has happened in this year of reading. Okay, because I have found books where I'm just like, I love this, and I want this for myself. But anyway, and I think this is kind of the book that made me realize that, because I'm not a person who buys books, because I'm not a person who rereads books, but I really love this so freaking much that I would buy it and I would reread it, you know? Okay, so moving on to the cons. I don't feel like, I mean, there's 4. That's not a lot though. But anyway, and it wasn't enough to keep me from giving it 5 stars. You know, that's how much I loved it. But honestly, my first con is Rowan. Rowan, he's Luke's brother, younger brother, and he was the best friend of Jessie. And I was like, girl, why? Because he was kind of annoying to me and selfish and like immature at a lot of times and stuff, but she still loved him, and I was just like, I guess it's just habit. I don't know. Like, they grew up together, so I guess I get that, but he was just he was too dramatic and stupid for me, and I did not like him. I knew that like if I was in this universe, I would not like, the relationship I would have with Rowan would probably be like, we would both hate each other, and it would be like an enemies like to lovers thing of anything, but probably not. Probably just, I hate you, and I meant that, you know? I hate you, and I meant that. But yeah, he got on my dang nerves, and I was not rooting for him at all. Like, he lied about things. He kind of goes through like some brief, it's not alcoholism, but he starts drinking, and it's like, he's not allowed to do that, and it's underage drinking. And he starts lying about it, and that was upsetting to me and everybody else too. It's like, because they don't deserve that. Like, everyone's going through something here, okay? You adding stuff to the plate is not helping, and you lying to people make it more stressful than it already is. You know, like, your mom is fighting cancer, and now she has to worry about her son underage drinking, and he never drunk before. Like, come on now, like, get with it, get better, okay? Be better. But anyway, so Woman got on my nerves. I wasn't really rooting for him. And then another con was the annoying amounts of self-hatred and guilt that Jessie experienced in the now. She experiences it in the now. And it was kind of just like, it was borderline annoying to me because she would have so much self-loathing and angst, and it was like, she felt like she legit deserved nothing, and it was like actively punishing herself. And for me, someone who's like, I'm kind of a therapist by nature, I don't know, I wouldn't pursue that role, like, you know, that career or whatever, but I just like, no, that's stupid. Everyone deserves good things. Everyone deserves a happy ending. Everyone deserves good friends, loving family, a roof over their heads, food, It's the basic necessities. Everyone deserves that, okay? And so it's like her like punishing herself. I was like, girl, who is you? What? Why do you need to be punished? I'm so confused. I'm just like, did you kill somebody? Because if we didn't kill nobody, then I think we're doing a little too much. You know, that's kind of how I felt. I was like, unless you kicked a puppy, like, can we move on? That's how I felt. You know, it makes sense, like, kind of. I still feel like I'm like, she was a little dramatic. She was still a little dramatic to me, personally, okay? And especially because I'm like a big person in communication, so I would have totally cleared my case before like just letting people think whatever happened. Like, nah. And yeah, I'm not letting you just think whatever of a situation, and I know what actually happened, what actually went down. I'm not doing that, okay? And like, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so that kind of got on my nerves, but not enough, of course, for me to dislike her, because I understood it, I think. So yeah, but it was still annoying to me. And then there was a scene of that weird grief equals sex thing that happens in TV shows and movies sometimes that bothers me a lot, okay? Yeah, it was at a character's funeral. I'm not going to tell you who, but a character's funeral. And it happened between, you know, like Luke and Jessie. And I just hate that. I've experienced grief. My grandma died when I was like 12 though, so I didn't experience it that way. I'm sure it happens, I guess. I feel like at this point it must, because why would TV shows and movies just tell us that, you know, the feelings are so closely related that happens? But it bothers me a lot because they always end like, it's like brief relief, okay? And then after that, it's over. The act is over. They're both just like angry and sad again. And I'm like, so now what? Like, what was the point of that though? What was the point? You know, like, why did you do that? You wanted to feel something other than sad for a moment, I guess. Take a nap. Okay, you probably would have slept fine. I feel like that would have been more rewarding and fulfilling, but whatever. Yeah, that got on my nerves. I just hate that. I'm just like, stop, please. Yeah, so, and then my last con is it's kind of not like a real con, but like I probably won't get a happily ever after novella that definitely lets me know that they stayed together forever and had like a whole family and stuff. Probably won't get that, but I want that. I would love that, honestly, you know. Be the little cherry on top. Luke and Jessie forever, you know, they got like kids or something. Miss Sarah Everett could be real slick with it. She could be real slick with it, you know. Just a little, maybe less than 500 words. Ain't even gotta be nothing special. But I won't get that, and I wanted that. But in my head, they are together, and they have like 4 kids, not 4 kids, like 2, 3, I don't know, whatever they want. They live in the suburbs. They both have jobs, you know, nice stable income, family dinners every night. You know, they live in the life. They live in that Brady Bunch life together in my head. And I just wanted proof and reassurance that I am not wrong for thinking that. But I know I'm not wrong. In my heart of hearts, I know I am right. I know I am. I'm gonna sneeze. I've never sneezed while filming before. Interesting. Anyway. But yeah, that's my pros and cons for, you know, Some Other Now. And I'm going to read the review and then we will get to the art. Talking about the art. Okay, so my review goes, this made me bawl, happy, too sweet, heartfelt tears, and is now just like my favorite read of the year, maybe. I am in love with this book. I'm in love with Luke and Jesse and how they kept going back to each other despite everything, only proving how meant to be they were, and it kills me in the sweetest way. The drama was delicious, a 10-tier layer cake that I happily gorged myself on and was never sick of. There was growth, love, jealousy, death, pain, regret, hatred, fear, depression, so much in this one book and no topic neglected. I loved it. I think I'll even buy myself a copy and make it a life goal to have Sarah Everett sign it for giving me the book I've always wanted. A girl falling in love with the brothers next door, and that girl being my POC sister. I never knew how much I wanted that, how much it would mean to me to get it, and she did it perfectly. I'm obsessed. I'm in awe, and I'm in love. Okay. And P.S. this really was me after finishing it, and I just put like a little, the picture of me crying over how much Luke and Jesse had going, and it's just like, it hurt my heart a little bit. I already told you, but yeah, I was really crying. They really turned me into that crying Kermit, like that Kermit meme or whatever. My sisters told me it looked like Kermit, and I was like, that's cool. Kermit's cool. But anyway, get to the art that I did. Okay, so my idea first was just to do one panel of them like kind of cuddling on the couch, and like that's them in college, because they end up going to like the same college, and like in their dorm just watching like a scary movie together. That was my first idea, and then I was like, no, let's do like stuff from the past too. So then I have a picture, it's like a photo, not a reel, but like it kind of looks like the thing you get out of a photo booth of those 3 photos together, but it goes through time, of course. And so you got them it's like you got Rowan and Jesse playing in a sandbox when they were kids, and Luke is in the back just looking like, I don't know, gloomily into the distance as much as a 10-year-old can, I guess. And then you have them in the middle at a funeral, and she's trying to console him, but he's walking away. And then you have them, my original idea of them cuddling together, because that's how I imagine it ended, okay? That they rekindled things and everything is cool. But yeah, so I kind of took you through the phases and stages of the book, and everything that they've been through a little bit, just a glimpse. I guess it kind of looks like another cover. I wasn't really wanting to, I don't know. I like the cover of this book. I think it's pretty and cute, but yeah, it looks like I kind of redesigned it or something. And I kind of did an anime style, which is really reminiscent of my middle school days and was kind of cringy for me, because I struggled. I don't think I do. I don't do anime anymore, but like it will always be in my heart. It will always be part of my past, my artistic journey, in other words. But yeah, so that's my illustration for this week. I really liked how it turned out. Really love it. I should start posting on Instagram my fan arts and stuff, because I want to, but I'm really bad at Instagram. I'm really bad at it. Like, I kind of hate the app, I think. But anyway, that's besides the point. Thank you for watching. That's all I have for you today on this Reading Wednesday. Please come back and join me for another, and once again, it's been Sketchbooks and Sketchbook and Bookbooks. Can't even say my own name already. But yeah, go read a book, have some thoughtsy-watsies, do what you want to do. I'm gonna make that my outro whether you like it or not. Books and thoughtsy-watsies, and I don't even care. I'm like, that's what we doing. Gang, books and thohtsy-watsies. Bye. Bye, have a great day. Thanks for watching. I'm so done. I'm sorry.